Hello and welcome to Rustic Recipes. Today I'm going to show you how to make corn pones. Now these are tasty little cornmeal biscuits that are great when served with stews like Brunswick Stew. The earliest versions of these were little more than cornmeal and water and very bland. These would have been made with Indian corn, which doesn't have nearly as much flavor as the corn that we use today. And the recipe I'm going to show you uses baking powder, which was invented in the early 1800s. The modern version of baking powder that we use today came about in the mid to late 1800s, but did essentially the same thing. Okay, let's get started. In a large bowl, we're going to start with 2 cups of cornmeal. To that, we'll add a half tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1 heaping tablespoon of bacon drippings. Now, if you don't have saved bacon drippings, you can use any other kind of fat like lard or butter. Now you want to cut in that fat. To do that, just mix it all together with your hands, breaking the fat up into pea-sized pieces. Once that's done, we're going to start adding milk. Now I'm going to add it 1/4 cup at a time. So I'll put in 1/4 cup and mix it in. Then another, and for some reason I decided to switch over to a spatula here, but hands work just fine. And another 1/4 cup. You can see it's starting to come together pretty good, but it still needs a bit more milk. And 1 more 1/4 cup. I used about 1 whole cup of milk here, but you might need a little bit more or a little less. You want to get the batter to the point where it's just barely still holding its shape. So at this point, if I added much more milk, I'd have to pour it into the pan rather than shaping pones from it. Now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of molasses. You can use a different sweetener if you like, or no sweetener at all. I like the flavor that molasses gives to the corn. Honey, maple syrup, or even sugar would work here also. So mix that in thoroughly and you're ready to make your pones. I'm baking these in my cast iron skillet, but you can put these on any kind of baking sheet you want. So make a ball about the size of a golf ball and pat it down into the skillet or what have you. I forgot to do it here, but you might want to put a little oil in the bottom of the pan first. They won't stick bad, but it'll make them a little easier to get out. Now they're going into a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, they should be browned up a bit and the edges crisp. Set them aside, let them cool. Now, I made 2 batches here, so 10 pones total came from this recipe. And there you go. Nice, tasty corn pones. If you enjoyed this recipe, be sure to hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more rustic recipes.